Center 22 WSBT. Together making a difference. Live, this is News 22 at 6.
Goshen residents are taking matters into their own hands. They are fed up with the traffic.
Plus, was Fido being a bad boy or just protecting his domain? Either way, a 4-year-old won't go near him again.
And our top story, it looks quiet now, but a developing storm system could create some problems.
Good evening, I'm Cindy Ward.
And I'm Mike Collins. Well, the summertime heat is about to mix with some springtime cool, and as Chief Meteorologist Rick Mecklenburg tells us, that could be a very interesting combination. Rick?
Yeah, we've got some noisy weather on the way later on tonight and tomorrow, no question about that. Let's continue our Storm Tracker coverage right now with Doppler 22 Storm Tracker. Very quiet across Michiana, but we can expand the view and show you what's happening with Viper 3D. And we do have a lot of activity just to our north and west. Now you can see one batch of showers and thunderstorms across northern lower Michigan, but off to the northwest across parts of Wisconsin, we're seeing some development. Looking underneath the clouds, we don't see any indication of rotation at this hour, but that may change overnight tonight. There is a tornado watch in effect just to the west. This area in red under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock, and it does appear that severe weather threat is moving off to the east. So again, even though nothing's happening right now, could get pretty noisy around here later on tonight and tomorrow. And we'll continue our Storm Tracker coverage in just a couple of minutes here on News 22 at 6.
See you in a few minutes, Rick.
All right. Well, a 4-year-old Plymouth boy is doing pretty good today after being viciously attacked by a neighbor's dog over the weekend. And even though the youngster nearly had his ear ripped off, he's still lucky. Ray Roth has the story.
He said it was kind of like a surgical cut behind his ear.
4-year-old Larry Stewart is lucky to be alive today. The little boy was the victim of a vicious attack by this dog last weekend at a house on Plymouth's west side. It happened here in the 600 block of West Washington Street in Plymouth on Friday afternoon. Larry followed his parents across the street to chat with neighbors. But shortly after the little boy disappeared around the side of the house, there was a commotion.
We heard him screaming, and I jumped down. I was the first one over there, and I seen the dog still on top of my son, and that two of her kids were trying to, pull the dog off of my son, and that's when I seen his head all bloody.
Witnesses say the dog practically had the little boy's head inside its mouth. Paramedics rushed Larry to St. Joseph's Medical Center in South Bend, where he was treated for a skull fracture, and surgeons put more than 70 stitches in his head and fixed his nearly detached left ear.
Probably the emotional trauma to this little boy for Animals Forever will be as bad as his physical trauma.
It felt like he was 10 miles away from me, and I was running in slow motion, and my knees were all rubber trying to get to him.
Packer, who owners describe as a chow mix, was tied up beside the house. Authorities say the gentle-appearing dog hadn't had his rabies shots and will be observed by the Humane Society for 10 days. Meanwhile, Larry Stewart is recovering well. From Plymouth, I'm Ray Roth, WSBT News 22.
Police say the case has now been referred to the prosecutor's office, and the dog's fate will be in the hands of a judge.